David Duke, top of the arc. Here's Pip, guarded by Gillespie. Steps back, spins, fires! Woo! Pip Gates!
They get another crack. They'll go to their senior. And he lays it in. Two big buckets by Alpha Diallo.
He crushed it. It's a grand slam.
Down by 3. 5 seconds. Reeves for the tie. He got it.
Welcome back to Behind the Dish Sports, episode 12. I'm your host, Ben Bellotti, and today on the show we have part 2 of our interview with Jake Palomaki. Part 1 was awesome. If you haven't listened yet, definitely go listen. We dive deep into Jake's career at Boston College, and now in part 2, we're going to go into his minor league career and much more. It's an awesome interview, so let's get right to it. Here's Jake Palomaki.
So getting drafted by the Rays, you said you weren't in much contact with them, but I mean, still, it's the MLB team. It's still awesome that you got drafted. How quick was like your phone blowing up right after that Twitter ticker came up?
Oh man, I had I think 350 text messages an hour after, and probably 50 missed phone calls. So I was so thankful, so happy to get drafted. I was like finally able to live out a lifelong dream. So pumped. Money didn't matter. I just wanted a chance to play, and I was so thankful that they gave that to me, and I'm gonna do all I can with that opportunity. I mean, it was a stressful time, and I was disappointed on day 2, but I mean, I was not looking for anything crazy, and I just wanted the chance to go play, and thankful they gave it to me. So it's a blast.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you already have 2 full seasons of minor league ball, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first was a short season, and then the last year was the first full season. So yeah, 2 seasons.
So, I mean, based on your numbers, it seems like you had pretty good success, and you even were in 2 different levels of A ball last year. So how was that? How were those first couple seasons? Like, how was that for you? What was the team atmosphere like? I know when we talked to Jimmy a couple of days ago, he said it was kind of like everything was awesome. Everyone was awesome. But then all of a sudden there's like half the team is speaking Spanish and he has to remember what he learned in high school again. So is there anything like that was either different or just an overall, what was your first experience like?
Yeah. So first year I fly down to Florida, I think like 5 or 6 days after getting drafted, sign, and you go through like a mini camp there for a couple of days, and then they ship you off to wherever they want. And I went to Princeton, West Virginia, Appy League, short season, and it's middle of nowhere. Half the team's Latin. So you have to quickly try to figure out how to communicate with them and establish relationships. And a lot of the guys that I was playing with were awesome. A couple of guys from Tulane, one guy from Pepperdine, one guy from Houston, and we gelled really quickly, and that made the transition really easy. Felt like I was in college again. But I mean, it's a whole different atmosphere because if you play well, you're going to be gone. You're going to be called up. If you don't play well, you're going to be released. So I mean, there's a fine line in there where you got to sit. And I mean, short season is a little bit different than full season because guys are just starting to get rolling. But the Latin guys have been there in the system for a couple of years, and they're just happy to not be in the GCL anymore and at the spring training facility, and they're ready to get out. So that was interesting, but a blast. I learned a lot. Learned that it's just baseball again, just playing the game you love. Nothing too much different. Just other than the guys you're playing with, and that it's a business and not college anymore. So that first year was huge for me, and it was great, and I learned a lot. And then the next year, going to spring training, I'm like, I have no idea what team I'm going to be on. Who knows where they're going to send me? Am I going to go back to a short season team? I really don't want to get stuck in extended. I'm an older guy. I want to move quick. So I had a pretty good spring training. Didn't do anything crazy, just was kind of being myself. And the next thing I know, I broke with the high A team. And I skipped the level, and I was like, all right, here we go. Like, I'm getting a chance. So 4 games in, I go like 3 for 6, and then the day before I hit a walk-off, and I'm rolling. I'm ready to go. I'm like, this is awesome. I get called in the office and sent down. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? They're like, well, one of our shortstops is healthy, so we don't have room for you. So you're going to go back to extended spring training and figure it out there. And I'm sure you won't be there long. So I end up going home, chilling for the rest of the day. And before I go to sleep that night, they're like, hey, pack your bag. You're going to go meet the low A team in Cleveland, Ohio. So I packed my bags, left my car in Florida, and went and flew out and met the team in Ohio, and played with them for about a month, and then got sent back to Florida to high A after about 35 games. So it's all a whirlwind how quickly you can go up and down, and it's just sending people wherever it's needed. But I was very thankful I was able to finish out in high A, and I'm now with my age group as far as guys who I'm playing with. I don't feel like I'm behind anything. So that last year was huge for me, and able to kind of skip low A and go right to high A.
Yeah, awesome.
So it seems like there's a lot of back and forth, and it seems like you have to be ready kind of on a moment's notice. Can you talk, one, just kind of where you have to be mentally to know that at any given moment you could be sent pretty much anywhere in the country to any one of these affiliate teams? And two, can you talk a little bit about the pressure that goes along with that, knowing that, you mentioned during short season your first year that if you don't play well, it's not like college where they can't really take away your scholarship, where, you go into a slump and the next thing you know, you're off the team. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the first question was what? I'm sorry, I forgot the first question.
No, that's my bad. The first question was just where you kind of have to be mentally.
Oh yeah,
knowing
yeah.
that you could be kind of sent across the country at a drop of a hat.
Yeah, you just got to be flexible. You can't really think anything's for a certain reason. It's all, you got to know it's a business, and you got to just go out and play the game you know how to play. I mean, I fortunately had a lot of friends in both areas, so it wasn't too big a shock in either place. But yeah, you just got to be ready to go, and you know it's out of your control most of the time when you're getting sent like that. Especially me being a senior sign, older guy, they know they can send me wherever, and they know what they're going to get out of me. A guy like Wander Franco, who I've played with the last 2 years, he's not going to move like I will because he's young and they want to develop him. And they know that I'm older, I've been developed, and they're going to get what out of me. So they don't. It's different for every guy. For me, I'll move more just because I'm older and I can play a bunch of positions. But if you're a big time prospect, they're going to leave you there for half the season, regardless how you play, and then go to the next team for however many games. So for guys like me, being a utility guy, that's how I'm going to make my money. That's how I'm going to move up. So I got to be ready to roll whenever. And that's how I've kind of been able to do it my whole career. And it wasn't too big of a deal for me. And then the second question was about being released at any time. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got to, I came in not really putting too much pressure on myself, like, hey, I got to play well, otherwise I'm going to get canned. Like, I got to go in and play really well. And I found myself hitting about $180 about 6 weeks into the season, so it was putting so much pressure on me. And Coach Gambino calls me and is like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, quit putting so much pressure on yourself. Go out and play like you know how to play. Don't worry about it. They're not going to release you. They just drafted you. I said, okay. Went out, didn't worry about it at all. Ended up hitting like 330 in August and get my average around 250 at the end of the year, and realized it's not in my control. I'm going to go out and I'm going to play as hard as I can every day. And until the Lord wants to take my cleats off of me, that's what's going to happen. So I was like, I'm going to go out and play hard every day and not think about anything else, because at the end of the day, it's really not up to me. So I can't really think about it too much, or I'll get in my own head. So I don't really worry about it.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. I mean, if it's out of your control, just go out there, play the game you know how to play, and the rest will take care of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned Wander Franco. I mean, that's a guy who, I mean, if you play MLB The Show, he's had one of the Future Stars cars for like a number of years. But not only him, just how, including you, because you're drafted by them. The Tampa Bay Rays have one of the best farm systems. They're one of the highest ranking farm systems with all these top prospects. What's it like, one, playing with guys that already have a player card and like MLB The Show or whatever, and haven't even made the big leagues, and two, just being a part of that and being included in this top tier farm system with all these great athletes.
Yeah, it's awesome because they give everybody the same time of day as a big time prospect. So it's obviously Franco's going to get treated a little bit different just because he's young and he's a big time dude, but they'll give you the time of day just like they give him the time of day. And they're such a great system to play in because everybody knows what they're going to do when they get to the field, and that's going to try to win the next ball game, or that's going to try to develop into the best player you can be. So it's so much fun because everybody shows up to the field ready to work and knowing they're going to win that day. Because if you look at our low A to triple A teams, we all win, and we've only known winning since we've been in the system. So it's a blast. I mean, Franco's a great dude, and can't say enough good things about him. We've obviously butted heads a couple times, but that's just because we were trying to get each other better and trying to become best players we can be. So he's been nothing but great to me, and I've been nothing but great to him. And guys like Shane Boz, Shane McClanahan, and all those other top arms and players also, it's a blast. I mean, everybody has no ego. They're just ready to go out and play and win a baseball game. So that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely awesome that I love how you said that they treat everyone the same way, no matter what level they're kind of looked down upon. That's something I don't think a lot of organizations would say about their guys. So it's really cool to hear the Tampa Bay Rays go with that perspective, because really, especially in a game like baseball, you never know which one of the guys is going to be that next star. Even if they're, half the time you don't even know who the number one draft, the overall pick is. Like, you haven't heard of half the guys. So, I mean, essentially where you drafted doesn't matter, and knowing that the Rays think that way and treat everyone the same is really cool.
Yeah, they do a great job. Their player development and their scouting has a huge leg up on the rest of the league for sure. I mean, would they go out and constantly get guys that make an impact right away, whether it's in low A, high A, double A, triple A? I mean, guys are putting up numbers, and it just speaks to the coaching staff and everybody else too. I mean, everybody does such a good job, even on such a low payroll. Like, it don't matter. They get every ounce of ability out of every player they have.
So you mentioned a bunch of guys that you're playing with in Tampa Bay, some big time prospects, and you've been playing baseball for a long time, all the way back to high school and then college ball, NECBL, Cape League, and now in the minor leagues. If you had to pick one player, who would you say is going to be the teammate of yours or the person you played against who, you're going to tell your kids and grandkids, hey, I was on the same field as this player?
Yeah, it's hard to go away from Franco when you're talking about that, just because he's elite in more ways than one. I mean, his hand-eye coordination is something I've never seen before. I mean, last year he went all of April. I was playing with him all of April, and he didn't swing and miss at a pitch once. And that's tough. I mean, didn't strike out all of April, didn't swing and miss. It was either a foul ball or put in play if he swung at all. So that was an incredible and he wasn't even feeling good in April, he told me. So I was like, this guy is in a new level, in a new category that I've never seen before. And it's something special to watch every day, and so much to learn from him. Even me being older, I can pick up and learn about his tendencies, because he rolls out and he knows he's going to be the best guy every game he plays, and he expects nothing less.
It's awesome. Being a pro guy now, you have your own baseball reference page, and looking at that page, I see that you have a pitching appearance from last year.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, pitching in the minor leagues? It says you got like 2 innings pitched. So what was that experience like?
So yeah, I mentioned how I was sent to Cleveland, Ohio to meet the team when we were playing Lake County. So I fly in, and I'm on like 4 hours of sleep, and the team is struggling. They're in a cold streak. A couple of guys are sick. They're like, you got to play today. And I was like, all right. So it's a double header because the game got rained out the night before. So we're playing 2 7-inning games, and it's probably 42 degrees, pretty cold. And so I played first game, I played left field. Hadn't played left field much. Played a bunch of center field. Played left field for the first 5 innings, and then I think we're tie ball game where bases are loaded. I come in and I'm the 5th infielder. in the infield, end up turning a double play home to first so it goes down as a 7-2-3 double play, which was hilarious. And then the next game, playing second base, and it's like 38 degrees, pretty cold. We're getting crushed. I mean, pitching's not working. We can't hit a lick. Nothing's working. And I think it's like the fifth or sixth inning, and they're like, "Hey, we got no arms left. We need you to throw." I said, "Okay, that's fine." They're like, "Just lob it over there. You're fine. Like, just throw it." I'm like, all right. So I get up there and I'm like kind of feeling good. So I like let a couple loose. Like, I'm not just gonna kind of give in. I'm gonna go compete because I pitched in high school. I threw a couple bullpens in college. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go compete. So I threw all fastballs, just trying to get over the plate. Threw a couple sidearms, change arm slots a little bit. Next thing I know, 15 pitches, 6 up, 6 down, and all the pitchers are looking at me pretty upset that I made it look that easy. So
that's efficiency at its peak.
So yeah, I went to bed that night knowing I woke up in Florida and ended up playing 14 innings that next day. And the actually the first game went into 10 innings. So I ended up playing 17 innings that day, pitched 2 innings. And then all of a sudden the game's over and I can't feel my body because everything had happened so quickly. So it was a whirlwind for sure, but something I'll always remember.
Yeah, Matt and I played high school ball together, and our coach was actually in the Expos organization, utility guy, kind of like you. And he similar experience. He got a pitching appearance, and he said he just went out there, and all he was trying to do was throw it as hard as he can and blow it by guys to strike people out. So, how hard were you trying to strike someone out when you were pitching?
I don't necessarily think I was trying to strike people out. I was trying to see what I could do. I'm trying to make sure I stayed in the zone, but I was also going to let a couple eat. So I let like 2 go. It's pretty much as hard as I could throw it just to see what I would hit on a gun. There was no gun on the scoreboard, so I kind of asked the pitcher at the end of the game. I was like, "Hey, where was I at?" And he goes, "You're sitting 86 to 88, but you hit a 91." I was like, "All right, cool. Like, that's good to know in case I ever need to do that later on in my life." But so yeah, I couldn't really feel my arm the next day. I was kind of hanging when I was taking an infield outfield for sure, even just throwing 15 pitches. So I got a lot of respect for those pitchers who can go up there and throw 100 pitches and still be functional the next day.
Yeah, that's the same thing our high school coach said. Was his arm was hanging, and he only pitched 1 inning. So
yeah, yeah.
Another thing, just fun minor league stuff. I mean, you hear all about it. I'm wearing Pawtucket Hot Wieners, one of the promotions the Paw Sox did. So what is either the funnest or the craziest? It doesn't have to be a team that you were a part of. It could have been a team you were facing. What's like the craziest, funniest promotion that you've been minor league promotion that you've been a part of in some way?
Last year we were the Charlotte Harbor Hippies for 3 games. That was kind of different. Everybody was showing up in their sunglasses and multicolored shirts trying to act like they didn't know what was going on. And I don't know, it's really funny because you show up to a minor league game and it's all about entertainment and all about getting fans to the park. Playing a couple Star Wars nights, Harry Potter nights, pretty cool. See all these people roll up to the field. I think we were somewhere and Darth Vader threw out the first pitch a couple times, and they do a good job promoting it and making it an event for all these little kids and stuff. So it's cool. It's more than just a game, and it's fun for a lot of people.
Awesome.
So while we're on the topic of just kind of fun stuff, just kind of starting to wrap it up a little bit, have you seen the picture that's been going around with Bill Clinton and you filling the albums?
Mm-hmm.
What would you 4 albums?
Putting me on the spot like that. I gotta look through my phone real quick. I don't know. I like all genres, so it's tough to pick 1 or 4, I guess. But geez,
only hard questions here.
So I was a big Migos guy growing up, so probably Migos, one of their albums, Culture 2 or probably Culture 1. The first Culture would be there. Geez, I like Halsey too. Halsey had a good album. Then there's a good country album that just came out too. Trying to think. Geez, that's a tough one. I don't know if I got the answer right now. I like Khaled. I'm a big Khaled guy.
Okay.
I like my Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, nice.
There you go.
He's a good dude. I don't know, I like my worship music too to kind of get me in the right mindset. Maverick City Music's got a good couple of ones. Passion City Music's got one. I like some Drake. I don't know. It's kind of all over the map for me. I don't know if I could just pick 4.
Gotcha. That's fair. That's very fair. I was sitting on my phone for about a half hour just going through trying to decide which ones, and I still don't think I got it right. So
yeah, I mean, like it's hard too because you don't really think of albums anymore. It's just like certain songs. So that is hard. But
when you find a good album, it's really, really good. Roddy Ricch had a good album that he came out with. I don't know what kind of music you guys like, but it's kind of all over the map there.
Yeah, I'm all over the board too. So a lot of similar stuff to what you said, a lot of country, so all sorts of stuff. But going off of music, what's your walk-up song, or what was it last season?
So for the first part of the year, it was Lift Your Head, Weary Sinner by David Crowder. And then it changed about halfway through. I went with a Future song, Going Dummy, to kind of change it up. But I also had Travis Scott in there at some point too. Through the Late Night, that was one of them too. So I don't know. I've kind of been all over the map. I don't know what I'm going to do this year.
Yeah, going about picking that stuff. I mean, I've listened to a lot of interviews with major league guys and a lot of like funner interviews. So they talk about stuff like walk-up songs, and a lot of them say that most of them actually surprisingly want to pick a song that kind of calms them down and like soothes them. So are you a guy like that, or is it just like whatever you're feeling, whatever your favorite song is, that's what it's going to be?
Yeah, kind of whatever I'm feeling at the moment. I like to get hyped up a little bit before I get in the box. I kind of smack myself in the back with my bat. It just kind of wakes me up. I have a little bit of smelling salts. I'm pretty intense on the mound, not on the mound, but in the box and on the field, more so than when I'm off the field. I don't know. When I'm in the moment, I want to compete and believe no one's going to beat me in that moment. And that's kind of how I've always had to carry myself, being a smaller guy. So yeah, I'm more hype up than calm down for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good way to be for sure. I don't get why people would want to like. I mean, I understand what they're saying. They're like, oh, I don't want to be too fired up and swinging out of my shoes. I gotta get fired up before I step in the box.
Yeah, it's more of an internal fired up though. I mean, I'm not really gonna say anything unless something's crazy. I like to just be in the zone. I'm not gonna chirp you. I like to play baseball the old-fashioned way, head down, play it hard, and don't say a word until after the game, but it's not really the way baseball's being played anymore, which is fine. You can play however you want as long as you get the job done.
Yeah, I like the old school. And one thing that I noticed looking at a bunch of the pictures from your BC days, everybody was rocking the stirrups, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
That was for our high school team my senior year. A bunch of the seniors got together and said, no, we're going old school. Everybody's going to be in stirrups every game. It's going to be part of the uniform. So definitely appreciate the old school stuff.
It's a good look. I carried it on after he left his senior year. So
good. Yeah, the Coach Gambino was a big fan of those. So he was like, we got to wear stirrups if we're going to wear our pants up, or you got to wear them down. So that was kind of a mindset. The whole team was like, all right, we'll just wear stirrups and it ain't going to matter. I think they're going away from it a little bit now just because kind of going away, but I like the look. I think I'm a big fan.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of in line with the music and the stirrups and stuff like that, are you a superstitious guy? I know like for me when I would play, I would alternate every game, or not every game, but first game of the season, socks up. If I got a hit, they'd stay up the rest of the season. If I didn't get a hit, they'd go down. If I didn't get a hit that game, go back up. You have any superstitions? You mentioned changing your walk-up song, stuff like that. Or do you just kind of go out there and play and not worry about it?
A little superstitious. Obviously, if I'm swinging it well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep wearing my pants down. If I need to switch up, I'll go up if I had a hit in a couple of games. But I'm not too superstitious. Do the same thing when I get in the box, just to kind of calm myself down and make sure I know where I'm at, know what I'm doing, and recenter myself. But not too much, no. Here and there, yes. I'm just like anybody would. If they get a hit, they're not going to try to change everything they did the next at bat. So just a little bit.
Fair, very fair.
Sure. So I noticed we've had you for a while now, so let's start to, try and wrap it up maybe. So I want to hit on one thing that Matt and I noticed on your Instagram, and then I know Matt wants to do a little rapid fire questions with you about BC. So first
All
off, looking at your Instagram, we noticed, you have a lot of human trafficking awareness, which we think is awesome. So I didn't know if you want to talk a little bit about that and say how you got into all that stuff, or, obviously it's great you're promoting the awareness for that. So just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I attend Passion City Church in Atlanta, and their big thing is the End It movement. Not too many people realize how many people are still in human trafficking today, and Atlanta is a big city for that. So I like to wear a red X on my hand just to kind of promote the awareness, just so more people that are aware of it, the less it can happen. Just because if you see something suspicious, you can kind of say something, call the police, and notify somebody what's going on. So I just do that through my church, and that's been a big thing they promoted. So I figured, why not join the movement and spread the awareness a little bit.
Awesome.
So I'm trying to pull it up right now because there was a whole list of them that BC had actually put out for like quarantine entertainment, but I'll just run some off the top of my head if you don't mind. Just all right, so you already mentioned you were Upper Not Newton. What building?
I was in Gonzaga Hall.
Gotcha. Okay, that's where my roommate now lived freshman year.
Nice,
MAs or White Horse?
MAs.
For sure. MAs or City Side?
City Side.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit new wave.
Yeah, for sure. Lower or Mac?
Lower.
Absolutely. Cheesesteak or quesadillas?
Ooh, cheesesteak.
There you go. Chicken tenders or mott sticks at late night?
Ooh, mott sticks.
There you go. Best place to tailgate at Brighton or Mod Lot?
I'm going to go on our field. It was sick when it was on our field in the outfield. That was some of the best moments I have tailgating, even though it was in our outfield and we had to pay the price in the fall, but it was a blast when it was on there.
That's sick. I completely forgot that was, that's a good part. All right,
Yeah.
That's fair. And then Rat or Eagle's Nest?
Eagle's Nest.
Okay, and then is it Eagle's Presser or Eagle's Bowl?
Presser, I believe.
Yeah, like the panini ones that,
Yeah.
That's the right call for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Think we missed
Good
anything?
stuff.
I think we're in pretty good shape, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was an awesome interview. We all appreciate it so much, and thank you so much for taking a ton of time to do this with us. It was awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me. It was great to talk about old memories and fill you guys in on what's happening. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great. And we wish you the best of luck. We hope to see you in the big leagues in a couple of years, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We're rooting for you. We're rooting for you.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on,
absolutely.
Jake.
Yeah. You guys are running a good podcast here, so keep it up, keep rolling.